When we first ventured into the mist, we were just a bunch of friends who wanted to stream an RPG that we loved on the internet. What we didn't expect was the impact it would have on lives, including our own. To the earliest viewers who we kept company during COVID, who battled alongside us over Zoom, who supported us and built an online community that thrived. To the Smith Guardians who shaped the story through Discord, who volunteered their time to run encounters in our world. To those that celebrated with us and also mourned with us when we lost members of our community. To the companies that supported us along the way with product and through sponsorship. To those who still adventure with us online at stores, at conventions, in castles and jungles, and even cruise ships. Thank you. We wouldn't be here without you. Most of you probably came here because you've watched all, or at least some, I know it's a lot, of the Into the Mist series on YouTube and heard that we're trying to produce our final season 6. If that's the case, you're absolutely correct. The funds from this Kickstarter will go to paying our cast and crew to bring completion to a 5-year storyline that has gotten millions of views and you've watched for nearly 1 million hours, which still blows my mind. We want to end this series the way it started. Friends around a table, rolling dice. In order to do that, we need a place to film. I'm sitting here in what appears to be a space packed with junk, but really, with your help, it's the future of RealmSmith. So, part of the funding goal is to renovate the space into the next RealmSmith HQ, our very own studio again. It's mostly there, it's got electricity and heating, although it's not on right now. All it needs now are some walls, paint, a little soundproofing, and some set dressing, and we're off to Barovia once again. Thankfully, we're a handy bunch, so all we really need is supplies and a good dose of elbow grease from our team. As much as Season 6 is the main focus of this campaign, with your help, we can build a foundation for us to create content for years to come. We have all the equipment. All we're missing is a new permanent home, something we haven't had in a while. Upon successful funding of the campaign, we plan to immediately start the renovations, which will give us 2 months of lead time before we start filming Season 6 in May 2025. We assume renovations will take about 3 to 4 weeks to complete. Then, the plan is to edit and fulfill all rewards by the weekly release of Season 6 starting Monday, August 11th, 2025, leading to a Halloween finale on Monday, October 27th, 2025. If we hit the stretch goal for 4 additional episodes, that would push launch of the season forward 4 weeks to July 14th. Now, I know the question many of you are probably asking is, why Kickstarter now after 5 years of the show? The honest to strawed answer is, we need you. The TTRPG content creation space is vastly different from when we started 5 years ago. And although we have incredible sponsors like Hero Forge and Beetle and Grimm's and Ultimate Game Master joining us for one last dance, we still need your help to get over the finish line. We're turning to you, the community. Those that care the most about our beloved Dawmbringers and want to see this story come to a much-deserved conclusion. Thank you all so very much. And for one last time, come help us venture back into the mist. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are so excited. We are almost exactly 1 week into our Kickstarter with 1 week left. It has been an incredible week. But before I go any further, I want to welcome a very good friend of mine, a very good friend of RealmSmith's. We have done lots of adventuring together already and look forward to many more adventures. My good friend and wonderful man all around, Christian Navarro. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me and my mustache. It is its own entity.
It is, and it is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sad because last time we were together, you did not have it. And so I'm looking forward to experiencing it in person.
Who knows if it'll be there? That's the next stretch goal is bringing my mustache.
Is the next iteration, is the next form of your mustache?
Or yeah, if we hit the next stretch goal, I will keep it and or take it away depending on what the folks want.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. All right, so if anybody's been living under a rock, um, has never watched Netflix, and has no idea what Critical Role is, can you give us a just highlights of what you've been doing, what you've been up to, where people might know you from, and what you're working on?
Well, yeah, so I'm an actor and I've been in a couple of movies here and there, and most probably if you know who I am from acting, it's because of 13 Reasons Why, which was this little ditty on Netflix that we did for 4 seasons. And since then, I have been making the rounds in the TTRPG spaces with my appearances on Critical Role as Frida and a couple of others here and there. And most recently, the thing I am most proud of and excited for is Tales Unrolled Alma, which is my first foray as an executive producer alongside Luis Carrazzo and the incredible team at Sonoro at an original world setting with four incredible players in an actual play Dungeons and Dragons series. That comes out April 29th.
Yeah, and Louise is fantastic. And we met
Yes.
because you and Louise joined us, among others, with Angeli and Nora and some other awesome people, to play
Right.
Shadowrun some time ago. And that was our Shadowrun series. And,
That's where I met Luis
yeah.
and where I met you.
Was that the
And
first time you met Louise? No.
yeah, he and I had like coffee briefly before
Wow.
doing the series, but we had messaged each other a few
Yeah,
times. We
yeah.
had never been in the same room or anything like that. So
Wow,
we
I had
kind of
no idea.
yeah, we kind of fell in love with each other then, and
Aw.
have been making things with each other ever since.
I feel a little bit like a happy papa, like a happy
Yeah,
matchmaker.
you birthed us.
Yes, you
You did. Yes, you
I
brought
know.
us together.
I birthed the relationship between you and Louise. I love that so much. Well, actually, I guess you then came to it through Angeli. I'm trying to remember how we connected.
The
Everybody merged
Shadowrun
together. Yeah,
series.
Shadowrun.
I think Luis might have like recommended me for
Okay, so you guys had known each
the
other.
job for
Yeah, yeah,
playing with you
from yeah,
guys.
yeah. That's right, and that's awesome. Anyways,
Oh,
yeah,
Anjali. No, it was Anjali. Yes,
yeah, it was
because she
Angeli.
and
Yeah,
I worked on a Critical Role
yeah,
one shot thing.
yeah, yeah. So yes, and that was a magical experience. It honestly was. It's one of my favorite storytelling experiences ever. That
Yeah,
cast
we
and
had a
that
lot of
story
fun.
was so great. And if anybody hasn't seen it, you can watch it on our channel with the most incredible cast ever. Um,
Really had some twists and turns
yeah,
and some really cinematic moments and really
lots of emotion, lots of deep moments, and
grounded, yeah, some
yeah,
grounded gameplay. That was a lot
yeah.
of fun.
And so that was when our relationship was birthed.
Yeah,
And
also
we
true.
became close friends, fast friends, and
Yeah.
have remained friends since. And I invited you on D3 at Sea, which you joined us as a host, and you did a fantastic job. Some of the folks on the chat right now were there. And partied with us on the high seas, and even
Saw
played
me
with
at
us in
the
Barovia.
slot machines,
Yes, at
Buffalo.
Buffalo. And yeah, dude, you were like, you won everything. You every time we talked to you, you're like, "Yep, I'm up another few grand or whatever it was." It
Hey,
was nuts.
and Ethan, your son, your wonderful son, and other people were next to me when it happened, so we don't think it's bullshit.
It's
I
true.
was just hot
It's true.
the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we weren't around so much when you lost. So, it all comes out in the wash sometimes. but
that's true.
but yes,
And I did lose a bit too.
yeah, but we don't want to talk about the losses. But yeah, I mean, and then that led us to during that cruise talking about Into the Mist and our
Yeah.
series and our channel and how much I'd love to
Playing
have you on.
alongside playing alongside your Into the Mist players when you ran them through well, not the Into the Mist group, but
Yeah,
some of them were there.
yeah,
And playing alongside the Strahd campaign there for on board the ship.
yep.
That was really my first introduction to that world, and it excited me. And I got to play
Mm.
alongside Joel, and I thought we need to really the thought for the three of us was like, what is this story? Something
Yeah,
unique is happening here
yeah,
with the three of us, and it was like, well, what can we work it into season six and get to explore it a little bit?
Yeah. I heard right in that moment saxophones playing what did it do, what did it just for a moment there, because that's when it gets sparked. And here we are, launching a Kickstarter a week in, funding in
And you
3 minutes,
right, and
and
unprecedented. That was really fun.
yep, and having you unlocked as a stretch goal first day. How insane was that? And
It's pretty
so,
insane.
yeah, so huge shout out and thanks. Some of those folks are in our chat. Those folks who
Cool.
have supported us. I've also seen some folks who will or plan on supporting us. Some old friends and huge supporters of the channel, like Sakura. Of course, Kella, who has been on 3 or 4 cruises now, with me at the table, was at the one that we played together. She played Dawn. Her husband played Marcus, and yeah, it was all birthed there, and so here we are, 1 week through our Kickstarter. We've now raised, I think it's 18,000 some odd dollars, which pretty much
Wow.
ensures that the show can be made. It ensures that Christian will be at the table with us.
Mhm.
And the future of RealmSmith is based on basically where we go from there. And so unlocking all the future stretch goals give a lot of really cool things to the folks, including digital NPC cards of the Dawnbringers and Christian's character, hopefully, as digital downloads later on, that you can put into your own game. And then also podcast versions of our episodes will also be created for all seasons and things like that. So, and over and above this amount, so everybody gets paid, everything gets made, and then we start investing in the future of RealmSmith and the future productions and things like that. And that's where that goes. And so, and making this season the best that it could possibly be still. But, I just want to thank everyone who is in the chat. We sold out all 6 seats of folks coming to play with us in studio for a episode, which blows my freaking mind when I think about it. That folks would invest their hard-earned money to be a part of what we've created and to see it go out into the sunset, and hopefully out of the mists. And that's a beautiful thing, and we're so thankful, and we plan to be good stewards of that hard-earned cash that you have spent on us, and that's incredibly important to us. And so we look forward to an incredible experience together. So Christian, you are not a you're familiar with horror. You have done some horror movies. One which
Sure.
was actually like, when I watched it, dude, it was really, really, really good.
Oh, dude, appreciate that.
It was awesome, in fact, and one of the best of that genre that I've seen in a long time. And so you're no stranger to horror, and maybe a fan of gothic horror. Tell us a little bit about that kind of world and the things that you've been involved in there.
Well, yeah, totally. I did a horror film in the Exorcist
It
vein,
was so good.
subgenre of horror, if you will. But I haven't played much gothic horror or horror themed TTRPG, really.
Hmm.
Um, but I am more than intrigued. I'm excited to get to play in it because I feel like the role play opportunities will be different and I'm encouraged, having watched you DM and Joel play, that the world will be fun and have a bit of levity, but also
Oh yeah.
rooted in some really grounded work. So I'm excited to play with you guys, and excited to bring some cool elements from some of the things that I find really fun and interesting about the gothic horror genre.
Yeah,
See what I can cook up in terms of a character.
and you can't put Joel at a table and not expect some hilarity and some levity to come out of it. He plays Felfer,
Yeah.
who is hilarious, and the rest of the group, like the whole team. You can't do Curse of Strahd and not have some levity. That's the whole point. Is that little bit of joy in an otherwise pretty dark atmosphere. What was the name of that movie you did again?
Pray for the Devil.
Pray for the Devil. So good. Go see it, folks.
Trey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. So
See
good.
what we did there?
Yes, I do. I do. As far as horror genre goes, do you have like a favorite type of horror, whether it be movies or
Mm.
series, or like what's your go-to?
Man, so we discussed, like, so body horror is a strange thing for me because if it's done really well, it's tasteful, and if it's done poorly, then it's gratuitous, right? And so like there are some really, I think the first Terrifier was a really great example of like really crazy body horror. But I horror films generally I watch. I like bad horror films. Is that a genre that's
Like
like
campy?
yeah, like the first man and just sidebar, I understand that there are big problems with the filmmaker and consequently like the second and third iteration of this movie. But Jeepers Creepers, the first one was like really camp and
Yeah.
bad and like really fun.
Yeah.
I watched
Yeah.
that recently.
Yeah.
Insidious is it, well, that's
Oh
like a
yeah.
really well-made horror
Yeah.
film. But
Yeah.
like when I truly more often than I'd like to admit, there have been times where it's been like a Saturday, I got nothing to do, and I will find a really bad like
Yeah.
90s horror film.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it makes me feel good. And it's
Yeah.
camp because they don't take they never really took themselves too seriously with some of these films. So
Totally.
you still get scary element the one that comes to mind immediately is Leprechaun.
Oh, dude.
That whole series is insane, bonkers.
Bonkers.
But they're so fun. Lep in the Hood?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Ice-T?
Oh, it was so
Like
good.
crazy shit, but
Yeah.
really fun and enjoyable if you're not,
Yeah.
I'm not going to see an Academy Award winning film.
No.
It's just fun stuff, so.
Yeah, and actually, my kids now, it's weird because like my stepson will he'll talk about Leprechaun now about how crazy, scary
Yeah.
that creature is, and like it's so
Dude,
funny seeing like this
character
new
design.
generation. Yeah.
Yeah, the practical effects on
Oh, dude.
Leprechaun, like he looks terrifying.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
funny and makes
Yeah.
you laugh, but
Yeah.
he looks very
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the movie Warlock?
Oh, sounds familiar. Who was in it?
Man, a bunch of nobodies. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. It
But
sounds very
what a
familiar.
wild.
I'll
We'll
check it
talk about
out.
that one later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a homework assignment. We'll watch it together in Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll all watch it together in Toronto. That's great. That's awesome.
One of the craziest opening sequences to a horror film I've ever seen.
That's
It's
I can't wait. So Lisa, who is in my Wednesday game,
okay.
and is a wonderful person, just asked a question that leads us kind of to the next section, and she said, "Any hints you can share about your character, Christian? Happy to
Ooh,
have you on
any
the
hints?
show and all of that kind of stuff." So we test drove a character for you.
We messed around. Yeah,
We
we
messed
messed
around a
around.
little bit.
Yeah, I enjoyed. It's not really a hint because we haven't really built a character. We had
Yeah.
some really cool ideas that we're going to try and work into. So, coming into a sixth season means that the group of players at the table have connections and relationships and very defined goals and wants and objectives for the game. And so
Yeah.
my job, if I'm coming into something like that, is to complement them and the story.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that we build a character that can give gifts to these players who have been through this harrowing experience
Yep.
together and sort of lift that up a little bit if I
Yeah.
can, with like something surprising and fun that this character can bring to help bring them together and win. I was gonna say win the game, but that's not the right sentiment. Like
Yeah.
achieve their
Win the
objective
day.
ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Win
Yeah.
the day, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
So the thing that I'm interested in exploring, that we kind of talk about, is I like the idea of playing a character that is a vampire, right? What is that? That's the right
Dampier.
term, right? A vampire,
Dampier.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
that's interesting.
I like that
Yeah.
because I really love. I think we've discussed this. One of
Yeah.
my favorite, if not my favorite TV show of all time, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh.
And there are a few characters in there that are like these. Angel, which got a spin off, but like Angelus was noted as like one of the most, if not the most, like well-known, barbarous, horrible vampires. And then he gained a soul,
Yep.
and he had to live 200 years with a soul and try to make up for all the bad that he did because now he had conscience and all these other things. And I think that sort of character arc is really fun to explore.
I love that. Love that. As far as now, that species related. As far as classes go, do you have like a go-to when it comes to what you like to play or the type of classes you want to play, or something you haven't played that you may want to explore?
Recently, I've been like, sorry, I'm too far away from the mic.
It's all good.
Recently, I've been playing a lot of different things because my first class ever was a ranger, and I played
Oh,
that for
I
like two and
love
a half,
Rangers,
three
dude.
years. Yeah,
They don't
I
get
mean,
enough love.
it's just such a fun class. Everything really meshes well
Yeah.
together when you start leveling up, and there are really cool ways to boon yourself, and yeah, Ranger was really, what's the right word? Like full service as a class.
Yep.
Like you get the whole experience, I think.
Yep.
Um, and then I played a little bit of Rogue. Frida was this like weird build of rogue cleric gunslinger.
Fun.
I Yeah, it's a cool thing. I'm playing a paladin at the moment in Tales Unrolled, and that'll become more clear in the future. But I think like I've stood away from spellcasters because I've been intimidated by playing a spellcaster. Um, I think in order to, not in a home game, I would play a spellcaster in a home game and like, pardon my French, but like fuck around and find out with that.
Yep.
But for if you're doing it for performance or for like public consumption, the challenge of spellcasting is like you have to be a descriptive,
Yep.
um, vibrant spellcaster so that it isn't just fireball or
Sure.
magic missile or
Sure.
whatever it is, right?
Sure.
So I've been intimidated by that, but I think for the purposes of what we're gonna do, it'll be a martial class of sorts. I think we're gonna find some real cool swordplay and try and give some descriptive. I have a martial arts background for most of my life, so like I think it would be fun to try to verbalize the physical combat aspect of D&D.
Yeah. Yeah, I played a gold dragonborn monk, and that
Oh, cool.
named Crichton, and that was, dude, that was great. What an awesome
Pop,
experience,
pop, 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 pop,
dude.
pop.
And that would be, dude, you playing like a Dampier monk
Pretty cool.
would be something that isn't in our party right now, hasn't been kind of in that world. So that is interesting, man. That is
And
super cool.
what level are you all at right now?
9-ish.
You guys, it would be crazy. I'll be immobilizing enemies all over the field in
Yes,
service.
it would be fantastic. Yeah, it would be fantastic. So that's a little
I'm
bit.
writing that down.
Yeah,
That's fun. I'm
yeah,
gonna write
that
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 down.
is fun, and it's always great as a martial artist, or as somebody who does something in their real world, to translate that knowledge to D&D is always fun, and always brings like a level of reality or accuracy to that whole experience. You know what I mean? Like we have a player
Yeah.
in our Wednesday night game, John, who was military and law enforcement, and he plays a ranger, but he plays him really like an ex-soldier, and he talks about slicing the pie and the way he enters rooms, and like it adds like a certain amount of credence to their abilities, and it's fun to play skills that you don't know, but dude, you playing a martial artist, man, that
Well,
is
that's like
a
the
great
two
idea.
approaches, right?
Yeah.
You can build a character that allows you to learn something new about yourself and about like I think of like Travis Willingham playing in not Vox Machina, but the next
Yep.
one,
Yep.
not
Mighty
Bell's
Nine.
Hells,
Yep.
Mighty Nine,
Yep.
playing that character,
Yeah.
and he
Ford.
had to
Yep.
learn a lot. Ford, yes, and he had to learn about seafaring, and that was a cool like in for him, right?
Yeah.
Because that cracks open your
Totally.
character, who what you're doing. So like having so that's one approach, or you bring a little bit of yourself into the thing, and then it's easy to talk about, which makes the role play a little bit. You can focus more on like what you're going through, and rather than what you're doing, because you know what you're doing.
Totally.
Um,
Totally.
so
Dude,
yeah,
I can't wait to have
different
these
strokes, different folks.
conversations. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
blast. I can't wait. I can't wait to jump in. And now it's a reality, thanks to all the awesome viewers. Couple questions
I
real
have
quick.
a
Oh, sir, go ahead.
I have a monk question for
Yeah,
you. Like
please.
this is a class question.
Yeah.
Put your
Yeah.
DM cap on for me. Monks have staffs, right? Or can have a staff.
Yep.
Can they have? You know how Daredevil has two batons.
Oh, sure.
Is that a
Yeah,
monk-ish type
totally.
weapon?
So the way monks play, like you can play them. Some people play samurais like fighters have like a samurai class, but
Yeah.
I see monks as just martial artists. So whether it be kung fu, whether it be jujitsu, whether it be karate, like whatever it is, even samurai, there is ways to make them whatever type of martial artist you
Monk.
want. And nunchucks are a thing in D&D, and I just see Daredevil as a magical nunchuck that has a cable in the middle of it
Yeah.
that's retractable. And so if you had like a weapon of returning, I think it's called, where it's like Thor's hammer, where you throw it, you could easily create a magical item that were nunchucks that would extend and then come back, dude.
Let's build Daredevil, but he's a
Dude,
vampire and a monk.
a Vampire Daredevil. Oh yeah.
All right, guys, there you go. You heard it here first.
Oh man, that is good, dude. That's good. That's really good. Okay, good. Um, That's fantastic. Okay, a couple questions here. We don't have a lot of time left, but we got some quick fire questions. The first is, Christian, are you still acting in film? This is from Jacoby, who plays in my Wednesday game. Christian, are you still acting in films, or have you transitioned all the way into the TTRPG world? If you have, what makes TTRPG so important to you to take that step?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I do occasionally still act in TV and film. It's just when the right job comes along, that I think I can serve the role and that they'll have me for. But I have been so yeah, I'm pretty full time now producing this kind of content. I'm executive producing a show that is premiering April 29th called Tales Enrolled that I'm really proud of. And then I play on when I'm asked, I come in and play with my friends for all of you. So I think what makes TTRPGs so there's that's a big question with a big answer, but the sort of consolidated version is I think storytelling is essential to who we are, and as a species, storytelling is essential to who we are, and as human beings, play is essential to our development and our aspirations. And I think being in touch with both of those integral parts of our lives and society and the world, and being able to do it with friends in the service of this larger story that we get to weave together is there's nothing like it really. I love acting. I love telling a story from beginning to end, and exploring character and the human condition. I love all of that, but this is a way, like, I'm never going to get to play, a 400-pound half orc barbarian.
Yeah.
But when we're rolling dice around the table, I do. And I have a quote that hangs up. I've told Jason about this. It hangs up over my office. It's in telling the story that we learn who we are and maybe see who we might become. And I think that second part
Mm,
makes all the difference in Dungeons and Dragons, right? Like,
mm,
if we could, who would we become? And I think it makes us more equipped to deal with each other and to take big risks in life and to laugh at yourself and your mistakes. And we were just talking about this. Like, failure is oftentimes the most learning experience, and the thing that forces you to grow the most. And
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop roleplay teaches you how to fail forward and how to fail and have fun. And in a lot of ways, I think it makes failing in life easier.
Yeah.
Gamify everything is my opinion.
Dude.
You get a nat one in life sometimes, but then also you get a nat 20 in life. And those extremes, that polarity, like being able to deal with that shit, that's becoming a human being. And Dungeons and Dragons is a little microcosm of that. So I think that's why it's important
Ah,
to me.
buddy. I love your brain.
I love you.
Um, Logan asks, will this be an episode one introduction? The answer is yes. Christian will be there for the entirety of the season. And so he will be right there from the beginning.
We'll
Um,
find a cool way to interrupt your
oh, yeah.
lives,
It'll be great.
your
It'll be great.
party's life.
The mists tend to do that.
Yeah.
Sheila, who was on the cruise,
Sheila, my friend.
and I
Yes.
think she probably was one of the few to to rival you when it came to the amount spent to watch our party succeed at the DM Battle Royal on board that night.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And
Yes.
she's fantastic. It's such a wonderful human being and so supportive.
It really is.
Um,
Yes.
but she says, Christian, I can't wait to see your character and see you play them. I know it will be great, and Sheila will be one of the folks joining us at the table.
Yes.
So you will have an awesome play partner.
Her
for
intuition
that, so.
for the game and her intuition for storytelling generally is. Oh, is that my phone? Sorry. Her intuition for the game, her intuition for storytelling is keen and smart
Yeah.
and different, and it
Yeah.
was so much fun to play with her and to see her. Sheila can hit the ball back and forth with any of the best performers. She is a performer. She was doing it. So it was really fun to get to play with her. I'm excited to see her again.
Yeah, and she says, I love you guys, and we love you right back, Sheila.
We do.
Question from Geeks and Games. Will the Discord or similar return for Season 6? It was great to interact with the cast and be part of the narrative. So, Christian, just so you know, so we had a Discord server that ran for the last number of seasons where folks could role play alongside the storyline of the seasons on Discord daily. And it was a fantastic thing. It grew too big to the point where
Cool.
we couldn't manage it anymore on our end. But we've for Geeks and Games and everyone else watching, we have re-released the Discord in a limited fashion for those who play in my weekly games. And so we have 12 individuals who are in there every day role playing and doing some of the things that we did before, and that's wrapped into the cost of them being part of my weekly session. And so, Christian, if we wanted to, and you at some point want to dabble, we can throw your character in there and you can jump in and interact with folks. It's a real fun, crazy experience. And so last week, for example,
Sounds fun.
our Wednesday group, they were told that they had to fight some sort of creature and they had a mission coming. So all week they've spent in the Discord researching and asking people for information and gathering equipment and gear and knowledge, and so then they're going to go fight that thing this coming Wednesday. So it's like a breathing, ever sort of evolving world in between sessions, which is pretty awesome and fun.
Yeah, that's cool. It makes the DM's life a little easier too, because there's no shopping episode. Do that shit on your own time.
Totally, right? And also it gives me so much insight. So watching them role play all week gives me tons of insight into their characters that I wouldn't get as a DM.
Yeah.
If we just did kind of weekly sessions. So yes, the Discord is back in a limited fashion. I don't know how much we're going to open it up to everyone else, but I did just post a Thursday night game ongoing campaign weekly on Thursday nights on startplaying.games. And so if you're interested in playing and jumping in and still being part of the Discord, you can do that by joining that, and then I will give you access to that Discord that you can then jump in, because I miss it and I love it, and this is a manageable way forward with the Discord. More to come. Maybe we launch it again, but that's pretty much it. We are out of time. I thank you so much, bud. I am looking so forward to this. Not only to game, but to hang. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. You get to experience Canada and Toronto area. Stratford, actually, is where we'll be filming, birthplace of Justin Bieber. And the Shakespeare Festival town, of course. And there's lots of great food.
That's
and
up my alley, yeah.
And all that stuff. It's going to be a blast.
Well, I'm looking forward to doing it, and yeah, thank you for having me, Jason. Thank you for having me, fan to the channel. Go follow me, or importantly, go follow my show, Tales Unrolled Show, on all the socials. And tomorrow we go live with the Patreon. Support us there, and
Awesome.
we're gonna bring you some cool shit. I can't wait to. I want to talk about it and more about this, but time is a resource. So.
Totally. And do we have an expected release date for that series so people can look forward to it? Or is that not
April
public yet?
29th. April 29th.
There you go,
Goes
folks.
live.
April 29th, support Rising Tides, all that stuff. We are here to support each other and make the most out of this space that we possibly can by supporting our community. Much love, my friend. Take care of yourself.
Love you,
Stay
brother.
safe. Can't wait to see you come May when we film, and all the best. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Daredevil coming to you soon.
Peace, y'all.
Much love.